Howard here with Bring It On Home from Led Zeppelin, of course. And this is the studio version. I actually did a recording of this with the fabulous Melissa Carey for Bohemian Productions, and you can find it on this CD right here. And I'll try to put a link in the description box below where you can go and listen to the whole tune. There was some stuff done in the middle where I accessed some other Zeppelin bits and pieces and threw in some Jimmy Page quotes, which was really cool and a lot of fun. But I'll just be focusing on Zeppelin's studio version today. Okay, so the first thing up is the E boogie pattern that starts out the track, and I'm using a relatively clean tone here. You can put a little bit of dirt on it if you want to, but you want to use the middle position or the neck position pickup to get a nice dark sound. And they just float this riff, the old Sonny Boy Williamson riff, for a while before Plant comes in singing. And I'm doing that with all downstrokes and then a quick hammer on for the triplet. And maybe a slight bit of muting with the palm of the hand in the bridge position. Then once it does finally move to the 4 chord to the A, that's played 4 times. Back to the E. Then moving to the 5 chord, B, a power chord shape up on the 7th fret, and of course we're adding the pinky to the 11th fret on the A string or the 5th string. 2 times, move it down to the 5th fret 2 times. Back to the E. Play the 5 and the 4 chord again. And rest it on the E. So I'll sort of do a shorter version of all of that so you can kind of hear how it all fits together. And then, of course, we kick into the full-blown Zeppelin part where Jimmy really fires it up quite a bit. And there's a few guitars here, and I'll explain that as we move along. But the main riff is going to be played down here in the open E position, and it's played like so. So here it is with the tab up on the screen. It's not too difficult, but as a note, I performed the bend at the 2nd fret on the G string by pulling down toward my feet, and you definitely want to put your first finger in front of that. Or you can do it by pushing up. Either way is perfectly fine, but here it is nice and slow. Now you notice that last time I played it, I put a little bit of a swing in there. That actually does happen in the track, even though it's not sort of glaringly obvious. But Jimmy plays it with a little bit of a swing on the bendy section. It's just got a little bit of a swing to it. So that's kind of a cool thing if you can catch it and want to put it in there. And then of course he's got a couple of other guitars firing away. One of them is simply playing an octave. I choose to play it here. You can play it up in the 12th position. But I just choose to play it here because I think the strings are nice and bright. And here that is slow as well with the tab. So it's sometimes fun to jump up and add that in there as well. But the one that Jimmy chose to play live was actually what I'll call the third part, the harmony guitar. He would often fly up and play that one after he played the main riff down here. So that one's pretty easy as well, but note that the bend on the B string is actually a half step bend. And then, of course, we're into the killer riff that he plays underneath the vocal. And there's a couple of guitars firing away here as well. There's one that sort of emphasizes the G to the A movement and the G to the E movement. And he kind of pops that in and out of the mix. And so you can play this a couple of different ways. The guitar in the right channel is more or less playing it like this. But not exclusively, if you know what I mean. And then there's a guitar in the left channel that kind of adds the... And sometimes it seems like he's kind of moshing it up a little bit, and that is indeed what he did when he played it live. So I think a nice way to play it on one guitar is to kind of mix it up a little bit. But overall, you'll probably want to play it more like this. But it's nice to add the octaves in there if you want to do that and kind of mix them up together. So those are the power parts, you know, where he's really kicking it on the electric. Nice and loudly. So then we move back to basically the intro part, the boogie blues part. And you'll notice when they hit this section that they're actually playing it a bit slower than what they were at the beginning. They sort of chill it out and lay it back a little bit. But it starts on the 5 chord, moves to the 4, of course, and down, and Jimmy does that again. But there's a couple of little spots in there that are worth noting. first thing you'll notice is that walk up that he does to repeat the 5 to the 4 to the 1. Which is really cool and sounds super nice. And then he plays this sweet little turnaround at the end. So how I do that is my pinky is resting on the 12th fret on the first string, and you keep that there, and we're playing some double stops, the B string and the D string at the 9th fret. So I use my fingers to pluck that out, and then you move to the 10th fret, 11th fret, and 12th fret. But all the time he's pivoting off of that high E. And you can finger that pretty much however you want to, as long as you can pull it off, right? And we rest on an E6 chord. There you go, another great one from Zeppelin, and of course, as always, killer guitar parts from Jimmy Page. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks again for tuning in to 24/7 Guitar. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.